Every year, 6 million people visit the Dominican Republic, and about 2 million of those come from the United States. The reasons why they come? Pretty obvious. First, connectivity. Just about every U.S. airline flies here. And the second, just as obvious, the sun, great beaches, and a large number of all-inclusives with a wide variety of price packages. But here's the problem. Most visitors never see the Dominican Republic. They never leave the hotels. So if you're looking for a truly great experience bathed in rich culture and amazing history, you gotta leave the resorts, even if it's only for a few hours a day. And if you're willing to do that, let me share with you some of my hidden gems of the Dominican Republic. Located in the Greater Antilles on the island of Hispaniola, the Dominican Republic is bordered by the Atlantic Ocean to the north and the Caribbean Sea to the south. The resort town of Punta Cana sits on the easternmost coast of the island, and with 35 miles of beach, it's easy to see why it's one of the most popular destinations in the country. One of the cool things about the Punta Cana airport is, if you're like me, it's nirvana. You get to be a plane spotter. You just come up here to the VIP lounge. It's not expensive, 50 bucks to get in, but there are other perks as well. And you better bring your bathing suit, because it's not just plane spotting, it's people spotting. Name one other airport in the world that's got an outdoor pool. If you've got some time to kill before your flight, why not grab a glass of champagne and hop in the water? Even if you don't want to swim, let's face it, when else are you going to ever have a chance to do this? And the folks here really want you to take advantage of the Dominican weather and hospitality.
We provide the towel, we provide the shower, and we provide the drinks and the food.
So all you need to remember is pack a swimsuit in your carry-on. With hundreds of resorts in Punta Cana, you'll find plenty of family-friendly hotels, smaller boutique places for romantic getaways, and of course, lots of golf courses. But there's one resort property here that's doing some pretty cool conservation work, and you can come check it out, even if you're staying elsewhere. The Punta Cana Resort and Club is home to the Center for Sustainability, a research and education facility that's the only place of its kind in the Caribbean. It's dedicated to finding solutions to ecological and social challenges related to tourism development. Jake Keel is the director of the center and works for the Grupo Punta Cana Foundation. The key here is to mitigate the damage from past tourism development and, in many cases, prevent it from happening again.
So this is really cutting-edge work. This is coral restoration in land-based nurseries. This is a new technique developed in the last 5 years called microfragmentation. So the whole idea is we collect corals that have fallen off the reef, we save them before they die, then we cut them into really tiny pieces. That motivates growth, as opposed to having them dedicate their energy to trying to reproduce sexually.
Not only do they grow, but the rate of growth is actually much faster.
In the wild, a brain coral might take 50 to 100 years to grow to full mature size. With this technique, we can accelerate that growth by 100 to 200% if we're able to do this well.
This technique allows them to grow up to 26 types of coral to help restore the nearby reef. And they're working to educate the locals about the reef restoration as well as the dangers of overfishing.
We've actually hired the fishermen. One of the best ways to not have to patrol and police fishermen is to hire them and find new types of jobs for them. So we've turned them into coral restorers, we've turned them into boat captains, we've even had them helping us maintain barriers to protect our beaches from sargassum seaweed.
But this is not the only conservation work going on here. There's ornamental fish breeding and turtle conservation. Elsewhere on the property, they've instituted an aquaponics program as part of their sustainable agriculture initiative, growing both tilapia and vegetables. They've even got a beekeeping program. But this is one of the coolest things you'll find on the property.
It's a real surprise to have this in the middle of a beach resort. There are 12 freshwater lagoons, and that's why it's known as the indigenous eyes. The indigenous Taino Indians used to refer to the freshwater lagoons as eyes. And each of the lagoons has a Taino name.
We stopped at one of the swimmable lagoons, and it was pretty hard to resist the temptation to get into the water, which was remarkably clear. It's actually free to come into the 1,500-acre park if you're staying at the resort. But even if you're not, for a small fee, the reserve is open to the public, and you can spend the day here, hiking in the rainforest and swimming in the lagoons. Just a short bike ride from the reserve, you'll find Punta Cana Village. You'll find the usual assortment of resort stores, bars, and restaurants. But then, there's this place, a unique boutique where local women crochet handbags from recycled plastic shopping bags. It's another conservation project where you can track the money right back to the community. One of the great experiences in Punta Cana is actually outside of Punta Cana, about 60 miles outside of Punta Cana, and that's where you come to the small fishing village of Boca de Yuma. What do the locals do here? They fish, and here everybody fishes. You know what that means? Even me. Morning, man. This sleepy little town sits at the mouth of the Yuma River, near the Caribbean Sea, with a blink-and-you'll-miss-it Main Street with a few seafood restaurants and watering holes, and a small community park next to the remains of a small historic lighthouse and a couple of old, rusty cannons. You can always catch some small fish in the river, or even right in the harbor, but I was looking for something a bit bigger, and for that, we needed to head out to sea. My guide, Jose Mauta, grew up in Alaska, but these days, he spends his time out here on the water in the DR. So tell me about the village.
The name of the village is Boca de Yuma. The population is about 3,000, 4,000 people. It's pretty small. Everybody know everybody.
And everybody fishes?
Yes, sir. Everybody fishes. You notice those kids fishing in the river? That's how they learn. That's what the dad told them. They're probably fishing in their dad's boat, and his dad told him, yeah, go in the river. They cannot come out here. To be able to come out here, you gotta be at least 20, 15 years old. You know, you gotta be old enough where you could be able to control your boat because of the current. The current will take you, and who knows where you will end up. Yeah.
Oh, right here, we're ready?
Oh, yeah, we're gonna throw it down.
So we're trolling.
Yeah, oh, there we go.
They don't care.
No. No.
No, he's got it. Oh my God. Well, I didn't catch a fish, and I almost caught a bird and kind of messed it up too. But Jose tells me we're going to get a fish, and we're going to get a fish.
Alfredo.
Wow. That is one nice looking fish.
Yes, it is. Beautiful fish.
Thank you. I'll pay you $10 if you tell everybody I caught this.
Well, you could pay me 50 to fish my fishing well.
You serious?
I'm joking. Let's just eat.
Okay. Just about a mile west of the village, you'll find Cueva de Berna. As you'd expect, it's filled with stalactites and stalagmites. But the real reason to come here is for the Taino petroglyphs. There are more than 300 of these caritas, or little faces on the walls, which is why this is considered one of the most important caves in the area. While you're here, it's just a short drive from Cueva de Berna to the former home of Spanish explorer Juan Ponce de Leon. The nearly 500-year-old estate, built by Taino slaves, was a working farm and a sugar plantation. The building has been restored to reflect the 16th century style and the way it may have looked before the conquistadors moved on to Puerto Rico and later to Florida. One of the best ways to see Punta Cana is to wake up early and then get up early. How? in this balloon. It's the only one in the entire country. It's run by Luis Leonardo, the pilot, and it's the best way to see the region. Luis and his family started the company in 2002. And, very surprisingly, they're the only professional hot air ballooners in the Caribbean. It's kind of cool to watch the balloon being inflated, which is done with 2 enormous fans. Then, the air is heated. And before you know it,
Cero peso, cero peso, cero peso.
you're heading off into the sky. Well, the cool thing about this is how quiet it is.
Yes, it is.
In my experience with ballooning, the only sounds you hear are the sounds of dogs because they hear us, but they can't figure out where we are.
Yeah, that's true.
Am I right?
That's true.
And what are we flying over right now?
This is Verón. This is the community. It didn't exist a few decades before because this has been growing and growing with the hotels.
Not surprisingly, tourism is a huge part of the economy here. But there's another export that's easy to see from up above.
The main important thing here is the sugarcane in this area. And sugarcane was brought by Christopher Columbus, 1492. He came on the first trip, and the second trip he brought sugarcane. And by 1505, we already had our first industry. By year 1970, it was the main income.
But you get a completely different perspective here of the entire country.
Yes, it's different. It's beautiful. I love it. I never get tired of it. And the wind is perfect today. So beautiful, this area. And the north is Atlantic Ocean. You can see there. That's Atlantic over there. Mona Canal between Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. If you look closer, you can see a rock formation there at the end.
I see it.
That's Puerto Rico.
Come on.
That's Puerto Rico. And there you can see Caribbean Sea.
But what goes up must come down. So we headed towards what else? A sugarcane field. And they don't mind when you land in their field?
No, they don't, because I don't damage. Not too much.
Not too much.
Sometimes few. And when they see the balloons coming to their place, they say, land here, because they see it every day in the air, and it's a privilege for them to see it in their place.
Here we go. Just a little sugar cane. Wow.
Awesome.
Wow. Children of the corn. Wow.
That was great.
And that's how you do it.
And that's how you do it. That was cool. And as they say, any landing is a good landing and a pretty good way to start the day.